Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having Gemini on the 12th house cusp in the natal chart. Now, the first thing I'll look at are the possible restrictions and limitations connected with this placement. And this person may maybe at times feel inhibited about maybe communicating their thoughts outwardly. It doesn't mean that they lack communication ability necessarily, but there may be maybe they feel somewhat restrained sometimes in speaking, saying what they want to say at particular moments in time. Maybe there's self-conscious about maybe speaking in maybe, for example, in a more articulate way from time to time, in fear of what maybe somehow they might be judged, or speaking certain viewpoints, for example. And there may be Gemini is a sign that is known to be inquisitive and question asking, and there may be something where this person might be hesitant sometimes about showing this inquisitiveness, and maybe even showing that whimsical, vivacious side to their nature, which is apt to be very well hidden, being that Gemini is on the cusp of the 12th. Now, the next thing I'll look at are secret sorrows, and the secret sorrows is what maybe we feel despondent about in private. We don't always talk about. It could be something over, maybe, for example, some documents, maybe that this person saw, or something that had some kind of like negative or derogatory communication. It could be something that somebody said about this person, things that are said maybe through the written word or through speaking. It could be secret sorrows might be connected perhaps with slander or some lies that were directed at this person. It could be something just with communication, just in general, and in some cases even brothers and maybe siblings. Perhaps there might be some difficulties, if applicable, where this person has some secret sorrows connected with them. Now, the next thing I'll look at is the self-undoing, and again, I go back to the communication. It can be communication or lack of it. It could be maybe talking, maybe this person said something, or might, as far as possibly talking about someone else that maybe in a negative manner, not necessarily meaning something malicious, but something that maybe this person may have said that may get this person in trouble, or not really getting maybe the facts right and saying something that might inadvertently not be true, and might wind up coming back on this person, for example. And maybe not, maybe the self-undoing may come being overly reticent at times and not speaking up and saying certain things. It could just be maybe it has something to do with maybe talking about a certain thing, or maybe talking about things that were supposed to be concealed or kept private, and it might wind up hurting this person perhaps, and might be their own, I guess you could say, the self-undoing. Now, the next thing I'll look at are the hidden adversaries or enemies, and these people could be something connected with Gemini profession, for example, such as writers, journalists, reporters, people involved in communication in general. Could be data communication, could be satellite communication, could be anything even remotely connected with communication. It could be maybe, as far as personality, maybe people that might be mischievous. It could be people that are thieves, that are those people that maybe pick others' pockets, literally or figuratively speaking. Now, as far as the dreams and unconscious goes, as far as Gemini in the 12th house cusp, well, there may be some dreams maybe connected with being a writer, being a public speaker, being a publisher or editor. They may be driven on a subconscious level, maybe to become one of the above that I stated, or something in that line of communication. Even something else connected with Gemini, such as dexterity, such as maybe or he may be being some kind of mechanic, like such as an auto mechanic. The dreams may be very well associated with something Gemini-like, and in some cases, this person, insomnia could be a very super isolated case. But you have to remember Gemini is a restless sign, and this has to do with dreams. And maybe this, in some cases, this person might be a restless kind of sleeper, or might have a proclivity to wake up rather easily and be very light in the sleep department. Now, another thing that I'll look at as far as the private and hidden matters may go, well, this person might be actually maybe more loquacious in private, might do a lot of writing by themselves in their own four walls in their home. There might be a lot of more maybe communication like on the internet, for example, though, because this is more expressed inside as opposed to outside. And this person might show their more versatile side, and in turn in their nature, perhaps with others more in their private life as opposed to the outer life. Now, the 12th house is also associated with imprisonment and incarceration. So if this person, like I say, this is very obviously very minuscule, the possibility, but if this person ever is incarcerated, it could be over some Gemini-like thing, perhaps such as theft, like larceny, prevarication, even lying in a courtroom, for example, could be another thing. It could be for maybe pickpocketing. It could even hacking into a computer system and taking someone else's information. That's a form of stealing right there. So those are some examples. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having Gemini on the cusp of the 12th house in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having the zodiac sign Cancer on the 12th house cusp in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.